You know that feeling, right? That little spark of an idea or that jolt of pure adrenaline. Well, what if I told you that's not just a feeling? Our source material for today suggests that lightning isn't just some storm out in the sky, but it's actually the fundamental energy of life itself, and it's flowing through you right now. So let's just start with that one big question. What if that electrical charge that's powering your thoughts, your movements, your entire being, what if it's literally a form of internal lightning? According to the source, this internal lightning has two main jobs. First, it converts energy from one form to another. And second, it's the very thing that animates our bodies. So to really get how that works, we need to take a look at the incredible power grid that's humming away inside each of us. So first up, the body's hidden current. We're talking about your personal internal power grid. Before we can even think about projecting energy outward, we have to understand how our own bodies generate it. It's this amazing team-up of biological systems all working to create the current that lets us live and move. So how does the body actually make this electricity? Well, it's basically a four-step process. First, you've got your input, nutrients from food, air when you breathe, even heat from the sun. Then, your circulatory system acts like a delivery service, pumping all those resources right to the brain. Step 3 is conversion. The brain takes on that stuff and changes it into raw electrical energy. And finally, you've got distribution. The nervous system sends that power out to the rest of the body, letting us move, think, and experience the world. And you can think of your nervous system as this incredibly complex two-way street. On one side, you have motor neurons. They send energy out from the brain, telling your body to move, to act. But at the exact same time, you have sensory neurons, which bring energy in, taking everything from the outside world and translating it into what we see, hear, and feel. Okay, so now we know how the current is made. Let's move on to level 1, the aura of lightning. This is all about mastering the connection between your mind and your motion, and it's where we see just how connected our inner energy is to how we think and how we move. First, let's talk about sensory memory. Think of this as your body's built-in emotional collector. It takes in everything from your environment and immediately tags it with a feeling. This is safe, that's dangerous. It's basically the source code for our gut feelings and instincts. Then you've got motor memory. This is like your body's own internal navigation software. It's how we learn physical skills, walking, talking, you name it. It's what lets us move through the world without having to think about every single step. And rounding it out is cognitive memory. Now, this is the big one. This is our intellectual framework. It's not just about reacting. It's the ability to reason, to remember events, to give them meaning, and to understand the why behind it all. This is our capacity for conscious thought. So all these different kinds of memory drive two different types of motion. On the one hand, you have controlled motion. This is any action you do on purpose, with conscious effort. On the other hand, you have reflexive motion. This stuff just happens automatically, deep down on a subconscious level. And we can break down those reflexes even further. You've got your inherent reflexes. These are the things you're born with, the biological functions like breathing or your heart beating. But then you've got acquired reflexes. These are the ones you earn. It's what happens when you practice something so many times it becomes pure mastery, totally automatic. Okay, let's level up. We've got our internal aura down. Now it's time to talk about projecting that energy outside the body. Welcome to level 2, the field of lightning. Now, the key to all of this is understanding that our senses aren't just passive windows to the world. They're actually active gateways, constantly absorbing different kinds of energy from our environment, light, sound, heat, you name it. So where does that leave us? Well, it all comes down to a word we all know, metabolism. In this context, it's the engine that converts food into the energy we need to function. And learning to consciously control that engine is the secret to projecting your own lightning field. Our source material points to two main metabolic states. First, there's the heated active state. This is when you've got a high metabolism, you're super alert, your body temperature's up, and your energy field is strong. Then there's the cool passive state. Think of this as when you're asleep, low metabolism, low body temp, and a much weaker energy field. But here's the cool part. We can actually control this. The source gives us two ways to intentionally strengthen our lightning field. First, by regulating our breathing, and second, through physical exercise. Both of these raise your body temperature and trigger something called ionization in your cells. And that word, ionization, is the key to our final level. All right, let's get into our final level, and this is where things get really metaphysical. Level 3, senses of lightning. We're talking about perceiving reality not as a bunch of solid objects, but as a vast ocean of fundamental particles. To really get this, we've got to take a quick look at the atom. The source breaks it down pretty simply. You've got the proton, which carries mass and has a positive charge, the electron, which carries energy and has a negative charge, and the neutron, which is neutral and represents the balance between the two. Now, when that perfect balance gets thrown off, an atom gets a charge. It becomes an ion. So if it loses an electron, its mass is now heavier than its energy, and it becomes a positive ion, a cation. If it gains an electron, its energy outweighs its mass, and it becomes a negative ion, an anion. And this whole process is what we call ionization. Now get this. Every single atom in the universe also has its own unique signature, its own special vibration. We call that its frequency. And it's all determined by the electrons buzzing around it. It's like a cosmic fingerprint. And that idea leads to something pretty profound in our source material. It says that all atoms that vibrate at the exact same frequency are bonded together through something called entanglement. This means they are fundamentally, inexplicably connected no matter how far apart they are. So when you pull back and look at the big picture, you see this incredible journey. It's a path that starts inward with understanding your own personal aura. Then it moves outward as you learn to project a field, and it all leads to this final step, sensing the fundamental frequencies that tie the entire universe together. Which leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. The source suggests that every single person has a unique brain frequency. That means no two people experience reality in the exact same way. So what does the world truly look, sound, and feel like through someone else's senses?